Avengers Assemble! Today we are looking at the Hasbro Avengers 3 3/4 inch figure line. This is Figure 10, Shield Launcher Captain America. Wow, back to Captain America so soon. I feel like we just finished reviewing these figures. But hey, you know what? I like the original movie. I had high hopes for what they do with the character in Avengers. I wasn't really dissatisfied. I feel like we needed a Captain America 2 before we could get to Avengers. We really needed that movie of him kind of coming to grips with the world. They did a pretty good job shorthanding it in my estimation, but overall I feel like I was left wanting on that aspect. But hey, we're not here to talk about the movie. Let's talk about some toys. So, Shield Launcher Captain America. I wonder what kind of accessory he comes with. If you guessed a shield launcher, you're correct. What about that? But yeah, this is a ungodly behemoth. If you notice in the beginning of the video, it's just enormous. It has this thing up here to hold on to his wrist with the peg in it, like all the other stuff has. But it doesn't really fit that well. It just goes up over his shoulder. The back here looks like it's made for somebody to hold and push in, but it's way too long. You can't hold it across his chest or anything. And there's also these two little holes up here, which almost look like figure's arms could go through or something, but this thing's just unwieldy. Just kind of a strange accessory. It does have a nice Avengers A on it. The shield looks nice. It's a little bigger than the one that comes with the figure to go on his arm, but it's decently painted. It's not the same paint either, but, you know, it works. And you take this thing on the back, the plunger, push it in, and it very weakly flies out. All it is a clippy arm and a push rod, so there's no spring loading here. So it really just depends on you how hard it flies out and how far. So after that very powerful Thor weapon, this one's a little underpowered. But still, I was going to say it's okay, but no, it's not okay. I'm never going to display him with this. This is going back in my bag of accessories never to be seen again. As mentioned earlier, Cap comes with his trademark shield. I mean, what would the Captain be without his shield? It's nicely painted. I like the red metallic. It's a beautiful red paint. Decent silver. The blue's a little lacking. And the paint's a little sloppy around here. The red bleeds into the blue, and the blue bleeds into the silver star in the middle. The star does have the detail in it of the markings, even though my camera doesn't want to pick it up because of the glare. On the back, it has you can see the rings on it. It has the straps for his arms and kind of the metal plating that holds on the arms. However, if we take in the movie Captain America shield, we could see that theirs had a little bit more detail in it. Some rivets, the brown painted straps. It's a little disappointing we didn't get the same treatment. It's also a larger shield, just barely, but it is a larger shield, which is disappointing. First of all, they had the tooling, so why not just reuse this thing? I don't get that at all. Plus the fact that it's supposed to be the same shield. I mean, I know Mjolnir's supposed to be the same, and it's a little bit bigger. I wonder if the size increase is because these figures are targeted more towards smaller children, and perhaps maybe they thought they'd have an easier time working these larger accessories. Kind of lame if it is. I do like the paint job on this better than I do the original. The original shield's nice, but this metallic paint job is very snazzy, very cool looking, even though it reflects light like nothing else. But I do enjoy it. It's a nice shield. Cap also comes with a gun that is not present in the movie. This actually caught me off guard. I was seeing a lot of Cap merch, and I was like really surprised that this is the only thing that comes with the gun. And then I realized that he doesn't have a gun. He does not have a gun. He works purely on the shield, which is more comic accurate. But one of the things I liked about the movie, the Captain America movie, was that he used a gun, that it was more of a true military experience. In this one, I mean, he picks up other guns and uses them, but why not carry one of your own? I really don't know. The gun does fit into a holster on Cap's leg, and fortunately that holster is painted blue to match the rest of his costume, so if you don't like it, it kind of blends in. You can just take the gun out, and it's not that big of a deterrent. I'm sure you could probably cut it off if you wanted to, though I'm not sure how it would look once you did that, but you know, there's worse things than having the gun on his side. The head sculpt on Cap is okay, I guess. The helmet is barely detailed. It really needs a lot more detail. It's got the wings on the side, the A on the top. A lot of the blue seems to be bleeding onto his cheeks, which stinks. It has eye holes. It also feels like this is more of a comic Cap mask where it's very tight to his face and not so much of a helmeted look. Also, what the heck's up with the ears sticking out? That is totally wrong. That really kind of annoys me. The jawline's good. It's as good of a Chris Evans head sculpt as I think we were going to get on something like this. The rest of the costume is pretty well done. I like the design of it. I mean, I really did like the design of this Cap outfit. They did exactly what I thought they were going to do in the movie, with being Captain America's an icon. People still remember him. He's famous, even though he's, this gone hero or thought to be gone hero. So the costume still remains iconic, and him being Captain America is still a true icon, and that's why he wears the uniform. Because I think if they just tried to be like, oh yeah, I like that costume again. I mean, it made sense back in the 40s when he was well known doing that too, but if they tried anything else, I think it would have come off as really corny. But there's a lot of good detail on it. One thing I saw pointed out recently that really surprised me is there's this little jagged line going through his midsection. And that is a very tiny detail. It plays no part in the movie, and I'm really surprised it got into the Hasbro figure. A nice surprise, but very surprised. He's got his gloves on, which look pretty good. He's got his belt with all the little pouches, Batman style. His blue pants. Could have used some paint wash on here as well. He's very, very blue. There's some detailed darker blue up here and stuff, but he really could have used the paint wash to kind of dirty him up a little bit. Once again, something I could customize, not that hard. I like his boots. His boots are really neat looking. Now, you may have noticed that his finger is looking a little dark here, and that's because I had to cut it. Now, he comes with this gun, which I now know is movie inaccurate, but trying to put it into his hand, it wouldn't actually fit. It would sit about like that, because his trigger finger wasn't separated. So I actually ended up taking an X-Acto knife and cutting that finger away so that he could actually hold the gun correctly. Now that I know he doesn't ever wield it in the movie, I'm actually a little upset that I did that, because I might as well just cut the gun off instead, but whatever. It's not that big of an issue. I could always glue it back too. Comparison time. Here's the two caps side by side. Kind of nice to know that the height change was really only restricted to the Thor from what I've seen so far, because the caps are roughly the same height. I feel like there's a lot more detail on the Captain America movie figure than on this new one. The costume is what it is, but the old figure really just won me over with some incredible detail and a great level of detail. And this one's just kinda so-so, and they left off a lot of good detail and added things that didn't need to be there. So it's a little disappointing on that factor for me. For articulation, Cap has probably another ball-jointed head that doesn't do much up and down, so you got a swivel in the head for all intents and purposes. Pin socket shoulders, which get a good range of motion. Bend and swivel at the elbow. No wrist articulation, as always. No torso or waist articulation, which is really a bummer because he has the perfect clear-cut places for both. You could hide the waist articulation behind the belt, and you could hide a ball joint up in this split of his upper body. So, really a shame we couldn't get that. He's got the Avengers style legs, which I am enjoying, that you could bend forward and back out to the side very easily, rotate at the upper leg, bend the knee at 2 points, and once again, no ankle articulation. So, as promised before, we can get the Captain America Morgan. So Cap is one of those figures that leaves me wanting for a sale on Avengers figures or some clearance, because I don't necessarily want to modify him right now, as he's the only one I have. I know there's plenty of these on the pegs, but I really don't want to spend another $10 on one if I modify this one and mess it up. But he begs for customization. He needs a paint wash. He needs sculpted covers over his ears, probably cut the ears down and just add the coverings to them. The gun needs to be removed. Articulation needs to be added, but there's not a whole lot I could do about that as a customizer without doing some incredibly major surgery. Overall, it's a disappointing effect with him because I was really jazzed about this figure when I first got it out of the package before seeing the movie. And now that I've seen the movie and paid closer attention to the details of the character, I'm really let down. I really am. The worst part is they gave him this crappy little human gun, when at least you could have given him one of the guns from Loki's army, because he does use that in the movie. He picks those up a couple times. So you could have gone that route if you really need to have a weapon with him besides the ridiculous launcher of death. And it sucks, because I want to recommend this Captain America, I really do. But I'm not going to. I can't. He's just subpar. He's not what he needs to be. And it stinks because I've kept myself, for the most part, being a 3 3/4 inch Marvel collector. And like the Hulk, this guy's got me pining for the 6-inch line, because it looks like the 6-inch line's getting those details right, when the 3 3/4 inch line just looks sloppy and rushed. And I really want to know what Hasbro was thinking, because I'm not happy about this. And judging with my experience from the Avengers 3 3/4 inch movie line so far, I mean, at this point we are 2 not recommends and 1 mild recommend. If they came out with Avengers 2 next summer, not that they're going to, but if they did, I don't know how thrilled I'd be for picking up the figures. Hell, what are we getting? Iron Man 2, Captain America 2, all those things. If this is the trend they're going with, I don't know if I'm going to be a completionist on their stuff anymore, because I'm just disappointed. And I guess at this point my message is to Hasbro. If you can't save this toy line, you damn sure better avenge it. This has been another Outside the Box review. Stay tuned as we continue to delve into the world of Avengers.